Hello, my name is Eric Schechter, and I'm running for the U.S. Congress. This is a slideshow, not a video, so it's going to look cheap, but I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm running a no-money campaign because politics shouldn't be about fundraising, it should be about ideas. I hope you'll find my ideas interesting, even if you're not in my district. Here's a picture of one of my campaign buttons. It mentions one of my websites, votenobluedogs.com. The Blue Dogs are a caucus of conservative Democrats in Congress, including the incumbent who I'm challenging. He's a nice guy, but I disagree with his ideas. I'm a progressive, and I'm challenging the entire ideology of conservatism. Of course, we're not all agreed on what the words conservative and progressive mean, so I hope you'll hear me out and not prejudge me from those labels. As I see it, conservative Democrats and conservative Republicans have been taking turns running our country for decades, and they've run it into the ground. Perhaps they had good intentions, but their policies have been one huge mistake after another. They've given us wars that make us less safe. Their trickle-down economics is unfair and it doesn't work. And they've been privatizing the commons, and that's killing the ecosystem. It's time we tried something else. I'll talk about the rest of the economy in a moment, but I want to begin with our biggest expense, our wars. Half of your tax dollar goes to the military. Simply having fewer unnecessary wars would completely eliminate our budget deficit. For decades, the USA has been involved in one dirty little war after another, often for bad reasons. For instance, we now know that President Johnson lied about the Gulf of Tonkin incident, and President Bush lied about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Americans would like to believe that America can do no wrong, but we'd be better served by facing the truth. Many injustices and atrocities have been carried out in our name, while we weren't looking, while we didn't care. And it's easy to forget what a hell we're making of other people's lives, because all our wars are so far away. I know, somebody is going to shout, 9/11, 9/11. Well, I'll tell you about 9/11. The official report says those 19 Saudi hijackers didn't have tasers, drones, or smart bombs, just box cutters. And even if we bomb the rest of the world back to the Stone Age, they'll still be able to get their hands on box cutters. So our bombs aren't preventing another 9/11. In fact, they're making it more likely. Every innocent civilian who loses a home, a limb, or a loved one has reason to pick up a box cutter. And that's also true of anyone who hears about our tortures. We're making new enemies faster than we kill the old ones. Our friendship can make us safe. Only friendship can make us safe, and we can't bomb our way to friendship. We should try talking. 3 Cups of Tea is a great book about that. You and I have more in common with the folks we've been fighting than with the fat cats in Washington. Conservative politicians like to talk tough because many Americans have the delusion that toughness brings security. They're ready to win the Second World War all over again. But they don't understand how that's different from occupying a third world country. I've never served in the military, but I've spent a lot of time trying to promote peace. I'm proud of that record. Maybe we should have tough guys for generals, but I want them commanded by civilians who see war only as a terrible last resort, not as a vehicle for furthering their ideology or their careers. Now let's talk about the rest of the economy. We call ourselves a democracy, but few of us get to vote on how our workplace is run. And for decades, productivity has risen steadily, but wages have not risen at all. The fat cats at the top have kept all the gains for themselves. Does that seem fair to you? They have no concept of a team. They've been exporting our jobs, stealing our pensions, and foreclosing our homes to boost their own income. Their tax cuts for the rich have created a recession for the rest of us. They've been running the economy like a game of musical chairs with ever fewer players. This photo shows a soup line from the first Great Depression. The so-called jobless recovery can't continue much longer. With fewer people capable of buying, demand falls, so the economy slows to a halt, throwing millions out of work. Franklin Roosevelt solved a similar problem with his New Deal. But fiscal conservatives prefer Hooverism. They claim that the cure for recession is to cut social programs. They've been proved dead wrong about that by the successes of Roosevelt and the failures of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. So fiscally conservative is actually the opposite of fiscally responsible. For decades, conservatives of both parties have been rolling back Roosevelt's New Deal and deregulating everything. That's like laying off your city's police department. The results have been disastrous. Actually, our police have just the opposite problem. We have the highest incarceration rate in the world, largely for victimless crimes, because so many politicians want to be seen as tough guys. We should lock up fewer humans and more corporations. The market is free only in the sense that uncaptured pirates are free, and it has led to a tremendous concentration of wealth. Our society is now controlled by our richest 1%. They own the military-industrial complex, so they profit from wars, and somehow they always manage to tell us reasons that we need another war. They own the news media, and they report the news the way that they see it, and that becomes reality for most people. The owners decide which stories will be emphasized, which loaded words and phrases will be used, and which poorly funded political candidates will be completely ignored. The wealthy also own most of Congress. They donate millions of dollars to election campaigns, and they are repaid with billions of dollars in loopholes, subsidies, bailouts, and other corporate welfare. Here's their flag. But politics should be about ideas, not about fundraising, so I'm not trying to raise any money at all for my campaign. And I'm just a college teacher. I have no rich family or friends, no corporate sponsors, and no donate button on my web pages. All of that means I have no paid staff, no TV ads, no color brochures, no mass mailings. That means the only way ordinary people will hear my message is if other ordinary people tell them. I'm talking about you. I don't want your money, I want your help. You could invite me to speak at a non-fundraiser in your neighborhood. Even without money, I could win if this video goes viral. That is, if people tell other people about it. If you like this video, please email all your friends about it. I've talked about paid advertising versus word-of-mouth advertising in another of my websites at votenofatcats.com. This campaign button is a great conversation starter. If you wear it, people will ask you, "What, you don't like cats?" And you can reply, "I don't like fat cats. You should look at votenofatcats.com. Here's another picture of me. In 2008, America voted for change in a big way. But after the election, many politicians shifted to talking about pragmatism, which is their code word for no change at all. Well, I'm still for big change. I love my country, but not the way it is right now. I love my country the way you love your brother when you learn he has stolen a car. You beg him to come clean and to walk straight. I love my country the way that you love your spouse after your spouse becomes terribly ill. You search desperately for a cure. Please, will you help me find the cure? We're all in this together. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your vote in the primary on August 5th. And thanks for telling other people about this video.